The literature review is a fundamental assignment for your innovation plan because it's really the document that provides you the research evidence that your idea is going to work and that can be supported. And so it's really important that you build a really effective literature review where you look at the literature, look at the research, look at the ideas that are out there, and use those ideas to justify what you're planning to do, whether it's blended learning, one-to-one, e-portfolio, makerspace, whatever the project is that you're working on. The literature review will be that evidentiary document. Very, very important that you build it effectively. I believe I might have misstated the number of citations. I said it was 12 to 15. Well, it looks like I'm only asking you for 10 to 12. Ideally, you want to really support your argument quite well. So you want to have 10 to 12 citations at a bare minimum. Okay, we are pointing you to a variety of different writing rules. There is a definition of the literature review. There's an example. There's an APA formatting style guide that you can take a look at from the Purdue site. There's a template and a literature review template as well to take a look at. So, we're providing some resources for you to build out your ideas. We also point you to a bunch of documents like the Meeker report, the Horizon reports, the ECAR studies. These are really useful starting points to give you a sense of where to look for your ideas. Within the ECAR studies, again, you're going to see some examples of what people are doing. The Horizon reports, wonderful foundation. So if you're looking at blended learning, you'll find lots of links to blended learning or one-to-one initiatives, because with the Horizon reports, it points to what's happening now in the next few years, next 5 years. So if you're looking at an innovative idea, and if you go back a few years, you'll find links to some really useful ideas. So the reason we're pointing you to these resources here, it's a starting point to do your research. Just a starting point. Spend some time on Google Scholar. Spend some time on the library searching for your ideas. Spend some time on Google searching for your ideas. But you want to look at scholarly articles. Don't just, point to a bunch of web pages. You do want scholarly articles. You do want books. If you're pointing to an awful lot of web-based stuff, I'll be calling you on that as well. So you do want to have actual research-based evidence to support what you're planning to do. So to take a look at examples of a literature review, again, you go to the EDLD 5305 assignment page that you can access off of my DLL program map. And I had mentioned, I believe I had mentioned Nancy Watson's. It looks like Nancy's has changed her website. I'm going to have to contact her and see if I can get another copy of her website or of her literature review. But it's okay. There's some other literature reviews. Mike's, Kaylee's, Jerry's. There's a few other literature reviews that will be a good example. So I'm going to point you to those examples right now. So if we were to take a look at Mike's, for example, his literature review on his website, he's got it in Scribd as well. He's got it on his website, but if we want to take a look at it from the Scribd perspective, it's set up in a very consistent manner. Introduction, he's doing computational thinking, and he's making an argument for computational thinking. And so his thesis statement is right here. The objective of this review is to explore the foundation of constructive models of education, which is a foundation for computational thinking, its impact on computational thinking, and how it applies to 21st century needs, right? So again, boom, first section deals with that, right? And so his whole article focuses on building that argument for computational thinking, looking at the literature, application of technology in constructivist models, which is very important, right? Challenges of technology advances, right? Computational thinking, what is it? How does it work? What's the support for? Applications, right? Because he's going to be looking at implementing computational thinking, right? Very important that you support your argument. Lots of resources here. He's got a conclusion. Yeah, technology points to the fact that things have been happening, and computational thinking is a wonderful tool to really provide deeper, more authentic learning. So again, this document provides support for his ideas. Lots of references here, lots, a lot more than just 10 or 12. I think there's probably 20 or 30. So this is an example of an exemplary literature review. Okay, notice only the first letter is capitalized, the titles aren't capitalized. Keep that in mind, right? Follows APA formatting. In the citations, again, works very, very well. Multiple authors, comma, 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 and comma, date, period, the close bracket, and the period. The citation is done effectively when you've got a larger chunk of information that is being quoted. He does so with the indent, so it's all there. So, really good example. Kaylee Heenan, another really good example. She's working on makerspaces, right? Provides a bit of an introductory perspective on her website, and then you see the full literature review, right? So again, like Michael, wonderful introductory paragraphs provide a broad perspective, funnel in to a thesis statement, right? This review analyzes recent research to show that the creation of makerspaces in schools maximize student-centered opportunities, facilitates collaboration, allows students to leverage technology in meaningful ways. Also examines consideration for planning, right? Boom. So student-centered learning opportunities. Guess what? This is the first section, right? And then it looks at blended learning in that. Collaboration, another student experience, right? So she goes through all these ideas, so the ideas in the thesis statement are then realized, right? Lots of citations, lots of references. Again, she's paraphrasing, not a lot of quotations, but a lot of paraphrasing. And then, the conclusion really sort of reiterates that, her thesis was confirmed. References. Here's, some errors, right? Sometimes examples can have errors. So assessment instrument, watch your capitalization, okay? So you only capitalize the first letter of a title, okay? So integrating makerspaces throughout the curriculum, only integrating when you capitalize. Everything else is lowercase, right? Keep that in mind. This is a little bit better here. This is accurate. Makerspaces and highlights. Now it's better, okay? So be careful about your capitalization, okay? And then I think one more example, we'll take a look at Jerry's. So literature review, again, focusing on, this one was ePortfolio initiative. So for specific types of students, right? Again, introductory paragraph, everything follows or funnels into a thesis statement, right? This paper aims to explore this, right? Effectiveness ePortfolio within a certain tradition, the ABE, CTE, EDLD students. He's going to define ePortfolio. Once it's defined, he'll take a look at how it's best used, role inside, outside the classroom. So again, thesis paragraph, thesis statement. Okay, this is the difference between an A and a B. If you don't provide a thesis, then you don't have a structure as to where you're going to go. So it follows through on the explanation, and again, proper citations, right? The period is at the end of the closed bracket. There's a variety of ways that citations are being implemented, and the reference list. Okay, conclusions. The conclusion reiterates where the thesis statement went, and the references. This one's looking pretty good. Lowercase on the titles. Yeah, that one's looking good. After the colon, the uppercase A. So again, this is working quite well. More than a dozen or so references. So again, this is what you want to do. There's multiple examples of different perspectives, but all these examples provide evidence to support the idea of your innovation plan. So I want to encourage you folks to take a look at the examples, but to build out a literature review that really will provide evidence. Now, you use reference to the idea. So whenever you put an idea from literature review in, you cite it. So again, you're going to see a lot of citations. So research in this area has not always shown positive results, but study continued. Recent evidence shows use of portfolios after the course of study is not complete. Yeah, there we go. Where did that come from? It came from that. So again, you make a statement, point to where that statement came from, right? Now, careful, like you shouldn't have a citation in every single sentence, but you're going to have a lot of citations, right? Because again, you do have to have connective ideas and thoughts. Don't just quote everything. You want to paraphrase as much as you can. So this is an opportunity to really find some evidence, provide some evidence, and build out your ideas, build out a thesis statement, have your 10, 12 or more references, and I think you're going to be on the right track.